Hey there, so on our last trip, Thanksgiving out at Cougar Buttes, this guy took a dump. We ripped the starter cord at the start of a 4-day weekend. That was going to be a problem for us. The batteries won't last for 4 days. We got to have our coffee in the morning, and that takes 120 volts. So what I ended up doing was I ended up tearing this thing apart and replacing the starter cord with parachute cord, which is kind of cool. Problem is it's too thick, so you can only get 2 winds instead of 3 on the Recoil starter, and it doesn't retract well. We can end up getting there with a little bit of work. So I ended up purchasing a legitimate Honda starter unit. Now you can just do the cord, and honestly that's probably good enough, but I saw this online for a pretty affordable price, so I went ahead and bought it. And we're heading out for New Year's, so I'm gonna go ahead and replace this, and I figured I'd take you guys along for the ride. So you basically got to pull the case off. And it's front, back, top, sides, and it'll start coming apart. And just a hint, you're going to want to use a number 3 screwdriver on this. Number 2 is just going to end up stripping out all the heads on all the screws, because these things end up tightening, getting in there pretty tight. So you have to take these 3 screws out to separate this front panel from, I believe it's the regulator pack behind there. Those are 8mm. The video I watched said you had to disconnect the gas tank, and I do not believe that's necessary. At least it wasn't when I did this last time. But basically you have to spread the case halves apart and pull the tank out of the way. And if you can see in there, that there is the starter assembly. So, and you can see this is the cord that I replaced earlier, the too thick parachute cord. So we're going to pull this whole thing apart, put a new starter assembly in there. These are 10, and this is a hoot getting down to these bottom bolts, especially the one on this side. And there you go. There's the starter unit. Now, as I was saying earlier, you can actually pull this cord out and replace it and wind it back in. There's nothing that prevents you from doing that. But we're just going to go ahead and replace the unit with a new one. The plastic piece that was provided with the recoil starter that I bought doesn't match the pass-through piece on the shell of the generator. So I just ended up untying the cord from the pull handle and pushing it through the existing piece on the side and then reattaching the pull handle. You want to make sure that the recoil starter doesn't recoil and pull the cord all the way into the starter itself. If that happens, you're going to have to pull the cord back out and realign it and push it through the pass-through on the shell of the starter itself. And I think I hear a Frappuccino being delivered, so I'm going to take a break. Alrighty, that Frappuccino was awesome. The video I watched made it look a lot harder than this. Once the pull handle and the cord are reassembled on the outside shell of the generator, you're going to then want to put the recoil starter back up against the generator motor itself and to reattach the 3 screws that hold it to the generator. Now when you're putting this back together, there's a couple of tabs here that have to flop into place, as well as the tabs in here that go into these 2 things. So keep that in mind as you're shoving things back together. On this one, make sure the ground tab goes on for the washer. It goes without saying, a lot of this stuff is being bolted into aluminum, so watch your torque or you're going to end up stripping those out. Start by bolting the handle back together, screwing it, I should say. That's dirt from many, many trips. I'm gonna have to go in there and clean this out one of these days. So much smoother. So as you can see, it's not horribly complicated, but it helps to know what you have to disconnect and move in order to be able to get in there and access the 3 bolts you need to remove the recoil starter. So there you go.